Hey guys, today it is Wednesday, January 15th, 2020, and for this video today, after discussing it with a subscriber of mine and Orbital, that would be you, I've decided that, you know what, I'm going to do this video and finally share my thoughts on the 2018 Winter Classic uniforms, which this Winter Classic was significant for two reasons, in my opinion. Number one, it was the 10-year anniversary of the NHL's annual marquee event, the Winter Classic. And number two, this was also the very first Winter Classic where the uniforms were designed by Adidas instead of Reebok. So, to my subscriber Orbital, truth is I did some thinking and I thought it was a good time to do this video, and I thought I'd get this one out of the way and film it for you today. So as you can see here, these are the Winter Classic sweaters that were worn for the Winter Classic in the 2017-18 season by both the New York Rangers and the Buffalo Sabres. So for this video today, I will be certainly sharing my thoughts on these uniforms because it's something that I've honestly wanted to do for a long time and I just have not gotten around to it. So without further ado, let's start discussing these uniforms. So first off, with this being the first Winter Classic Adidas had ever done, after seeing the horrible collar designs that Adidas has brought out with their Adi Zero collars, seeing the rounded collar style produced for both of these sweaters for this game was a sigh of relief for myself, because it gave me some hope that Adidas actually has a collar design that teams can start using, and that maybe this would be the start of an actual fix to the collars across the NHL. So far, the good news is that the Winter Classic uniforms, with the exception of Nashville's Winter Classic sweater, have used this collar design. And actually, in Nashville's case, I felt that both the jersey and the collar design were really good. But yeah, so with these sweaters, unfortunately, we have not seen Adidas fix their regular Adi Zero collars. I still call them Adi crap collars, to be quite honest, but at least there is a collar option that is kind of decent, and that's the one that you see here with both uniforms. So for the New York Rangers, they did a faux back sweater where it was heavily inspired by the 1926 wordmark and original jersey with a real twist to it. Number one, you had the New York shield as a special silhouette that was actually a patch on every player's jersey. And number two, you had this shoulder upper chest striping pattern taken from their white jerseys, and they actually put that on this navy blue Winter Classic sweater. Now, as for the Buffalo Sabres, now they were an interesting case. So for the very first Winter Classic that was ever played, Buffalo was the home team in that game, wearing their original white uniforms. So for this game, Buffalo did a hybrid faux back sweater, one that was a blend of their original white uniform and their 40th anniversary jersey. And you know what I will do? I will quickly show you guys a photo of the 40th anniversary jersey to show you guys exactly what it looked like for anybody interested. So the reason I want to show you guys what it looks like is because I feel that, you know what, now that I think about it, it's good to show you the two uniforms that were brought together to create this. So number one, you have this sweater right here, the 40th anniversary sweater. I would have preferred if Buffalo did an accurate royal blue throwback when they wore this, but this was actually not a bad design. For me, I actually felt that doing something a little bit different for their 40th anniversary was actually a unique choice. And truth is, looking at it now, when it comes to anniversary uniforms, it looks like Buffalo was the team that did it before it was a mainstream thing. So, also, another look, another thing I want to show you guys as well is their Winter Classic uniform from 2008. And for anybody curious, this was actually, or for anyone who doesn't know, I mean, this was actually the very first Winter Classic game in NHL history, where the Sabres wore their white throwbacks and the Pittsburgh Penguins donned their baby blue throwbacks. And I got to make a confession, I do miss those sweaters, or those jerseys as well. So that's what the game looked like. Both teams here looked absolutely gorgeous. And I do miss both jerseys, to be honest. But back to the Buffalo Sabres, though, and the New York Rangers. Let's see, where was it? So both teams didn't do true throwback sweaters. What they did was they did faux backs. The Rangers decided to create a new faux back uniform that is throwback inspired, that actually used navy blue instead of their royal blue. And as for the Buffalo Sabres, instead of just dusting off their white throwbacks, they decided to stick with royal blue and gold for the Winter Classic. But what they did was they decided to create a new hybrid faux back design, which is a blend of their first Winter Classic uniform, the white throwback, and their 40th anniversary jersey that I just showed you earlier. And with the 40th anniversary design, they took that striping and incorporated it into this sweater that you see here. So, compared to the 2017 Winter Classic, I felt that this matchup was nowhere near as good. I felt that Chicago and the Blues Winter Classic sweaters from a year prior were far, far better looking overall. But, as I say that though, I have felt since the moment this sweater was unveiled that Buffalo absolutely hit it out of the ballpark. Even though it was a faux back and not a true throwback, I feel that Buffalo did a really good job creating a new design that blended the white uniform, the white royal blue throwback from, believe it or not, the 2008 Winter Classic. They wore it for that game, and also fused it with the 40th anniversary jersey to create this. And I've always felt that this was a great uniform, and I still do. And hearing that the Sabres are going back to royal blue full-time in the 2020-21 season, I would not even be against the Sabres just adopting this design full-time with a matching royal blue sweater. And overall, here's how I feel about these uniforms. So, in Buffalo's case, I have always felt that this jersey was excellent. Now, as for the Rangers, I gotta confess, I'm not the biggest lover of this uniform. It's definitely not my favorite. So, let's go in and look at some more details before I start getting into my personal opinions in more detail. So, first off, this is the shoulder patch that Buffalo had on their Winter Classic jersey. And I gotta say, for the Winter Classic, I think that this was okay as a shoulder patch. If the Sabres ever decided to bring this design back as their full-time away jersey next season, and when they do go to royal blue next season, I do hope that this logo is not on the shoulders. For the Winter Classic, I thought it was okay, but it's not my absolute favorite. Overall, I would not want to see this logo on the shoulders all the time. Now, the next thing I want to show you guys here, and actually, I do want to show you one thing in particular. So, with the Buffalo Sabres logo for their Winter Classic jersey, the shape of the buffalo was actually tweaked a little bit. And I actually agree with those who say that the shape of the Buffalo on their 2018 Winter Classic jersey looks better than their current one. But also, Buffalo decided to put the NY initials for New York between the two blades. For the Winter Classic, I understand why they did it, because it was a Winter Classic game in New York. And that was the theme of, was paying homage to New York as far as I could see. But I do wish that Buffalo would have just left that NY off of there. It would have been a lot better if that wasn't there and it was just their classic crest in royal blue instead of navy with the updated Buffalo. So I know that they did update the Buffalo for that jersey, and I actually do agree with those people who say that it actually does look better than the logo they have now. And let's see, there was something else I wanted to show you guys also. I want to quickly acknowledge the 10-year anniversary Winter Classic logo for anybody curious. That's what it looked like. I actually feel that they did a decent job with the design, but it was on the shoulder, on the one shoulder of both the Rangers and the Sabres jerseys. I just thought that I would quickly acknowledge that for the purpose of this video. So now, let's look at the back of the Sabres Winter Classic jersey. A beautiful blend of royal blue and athletic gold, in my opinion. Notice how the numbers are just plain royal blue, but there's one more thing I want to note here, and it's the style of the players, or of the letter font of the player names on the back. It's not the same font as their regular jerseys, and I've got to be honest, I actually feel that this font is way better. And I have a feeling that we're going to see it when the Sabres switch to royal blue full-time next season. And honestly, I can hardly wait for the Sabres to finally go back to royal blue. It's long overdue. Royal blue and gold is one of the most underrated and underused color schemes in North American professional sports, in my opinion. So seeing the Buffalo Sabres going back to royal blue full-time, I cannot wait to see it happen. And this lettering font here, I want to call it traditional block font, but I think it might even be called serifed. I'm not sure what the term for it is. If somebody knows what it's called, I'd love to hear what it's actually called, but I like this far better than the font that the Sabres have been using for a long time now. But overall, this is a really, really great uniform, in my opinion. For the purpose of it being a short-term use uniform, I feel Buffalo did a great job. Now, as for the New York Rangers, there's the front of their jersey, and then there's the back. So the player names on the back were straight across, which, for it being a tribute to the 1926 season and the very first uniform in Rangers history, I think that's actually really good. I thought the letter and number font here were actually really good. But as for the Rangers jersey, there's quite a bit that I do want to talk about throughout the video. And notice the NY silhouette logo and the padding used by Henrik Lundqvist. Really clever. I didn't even really catch on to that till I looked at this photo, but very, very good pads. I wanted to quickly acknowledge this logo. So unless a player was an alternate captain, or of course the captain, every player, including the goalies, had this logo on the front with the NY initials for New York. So I'm going to talk about that in more detail later on. But notice how they've got the same upper chest, shoulder striping along the front. That's just like their away jersey. Personally, that wasn't my favorite choice for a design, but I'm going to get into that later on. So moving on here again, this was the official, I believe, the official unveiling photo from Adidas. So you see how Buffalo's logo has got the felt treatment. It might be hard to see here. I believe the Rangers had felt numbers, names, and the primary wordmark logo as well. So in the Rangers case, It was basically a faux back design that used the 1926 solid white Rangers diagonal word mark on the front. And Buffalo's sweater was an homage to their original white jersey that they wore up until they switched to the black, red, white, and silver era Sabres uniforms from the mid to late 1990s. Also, they used the striping from the 40th anniversary jersey. And overall, in my opinion, Buffalo's uniform from head to toe was the absolute winner between the two, in my opinion. Buffalo's uniform looks great. New York's, I did not like it at all. I'm going to be honest. I think I may surprise some of you by saying this, but I found the Rangers uniform incredibly disappointing, and I'm going to get into that more as the video goes on. But with Buffalo's uniform, there are a few little things that I think I would have done, even though I actually feel that they did a great job. But the first thing I would have done is I would have taken the New York initials out of the logo and would have just left the logo as is. I understand why they put that there for the purpose of this event, being that it was being played in Citi Field in New York. But I don't know. I wish that it wasn't there. For the short-term usage this uniform got, I mean, was it a deal breaker? Absolutely not. But I feel it would have been better without it. Another thing they could have done, in my opinion, is they could have put an athletic gold outline around the shoulder yoke like their original white jersey actually had before. And for the letters on the, for the numbers on the arms and on the back, I wouldn't have minded if the numbers had an athletic gold outline around them as well. But as I say that though, the plain royal blue shoulder yoke and the plain royal blue numbers do look awfully good here, even without athletic gold trim. So those would be some small changes that I would make. But the only real change that I think should have been done is to take the NY out of the logo. That's the only main detail that I would have changed. Besides that, even without the athletic gold outlines on the numbers and around the shoulder yoke, I do feel that that jersey is very, very good. I think that if I were to give it a rating, I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10. I feel Buffalo really kicked butt with that design. As for the Rangers, I don't really know what I would grade it, because it's a design that really, really frustrated me, and I'm going to get into that a little bit more now. So first off, I want to show you guys a photo of what Buffalo's uniform looked like during the game. The striping on the socks matched the striping around the waist and on the arms. I love how Buffalo kept their design consistent. But in my opinion, Buffalo's Winter Classic uniform for the 2018 Winter Classic is very pleasant on the eyes. And this uniform, I think this uniform, in my personal opinion, I would not be surprised if this was the catalyst behind Buffalo deciding, okay, the fans love the royal blue. We're going back to it in, coincidentally, the 2020-21 season, where here you see Kyle Oposo wearing 21. But yeah, no, this was a very, very pleasant uniform. I really love the simplicity and the retro striping and just the color. The blue and gold and the white jersey, it's a very, very pretty design. Notice the 40th anniversary jersey Buffalo word mark on the helmets. I believe it was an homage to the Buffalo Bisons. Now, if I'm incorrect on that, please feel free to correct me. I'm not sure. But overall, for a faux back design, I feel that Buffalo really did a great job. I really tip my hat to them for not going to the white design, to their old white uniform from the 70s through to the mid-1990s, and doing a blend between that and the 40th anniversary jersey. It actually turned out a lot better than I thought it would, and it actually looked a lot better on the ice than I thought it was going to look, to be honest. And another thing too, Buffalo finally wore their Winter Classic jersey for more than the outdoor game itself. That is something that I was very impressed to see from Buffalo. And I think what it was also the fact that fans really enjoyed seeing a return of royal blue. So I'm very excited about this coming season, after this season's over, to see Buffalo return to royal blue. It's a much overdue change in my opinion. Now, I'm glad that Buffalo cleaned up their main uniforms with the switch over to the Adizero uniforms, but honestly, I love the royal blue and gold. It's a gorgeous color scheme. So here's another thing I want to mention as well. This is what the uniforms looked like together during the outdoor game. And New York's uniform, I've got to make a confession, folks. It really has frustrated the hell out of me for a long time. And I'm going to get into why. Because for me, I actually feel that the Rangers could have done better. So have I showed you guys everything out of these photos that I wanted to show you? There is one more quick little thing. So just bear with me for a moment, because I want to make sure I do acknowledge this real quick. So you see this striping up here and along the back as well. Let's see here. I will quickly do this. So that is from this part of the upper chest, lower shoulder yoke striping from their classic white away uniform. Now, it looks absolutely amazing on their away jersey, whether it's the Reebok Edge jersey cut or the Adizero jersey cut that they have now. But I didn't care for it on their Winter Classic jersey, and honestly, I still think that this is the best navy blue jersey the Rangers have ever had. I do miss this uniform, I'm going to be honest. But there is something that I do want to talk about. Now, with the New York Rangers, I actually do feel that it would have been a lot better if the Rangers would have done a more accurate 1926 throwback uniform rather than a blended faux back design. So for me, there's a couple things that I would have done. Now, first off, I do apologize if my mock-up here is not the greatest mock-up I've ever done, or that you'll probably see, but I think according to websites that I've seen, supposedly the Rangers did use a slightly lighter hue of royal blue back in 1926. I'm not sure if that's correct or not. So what I thought might have been a better idea is if they would have gone with a lighter hue of blue and done this to make it a more accurate throwback and an actual throwback design rather than something new. Either this or this design here, that instead of using the same striping as their home jersey, it uses the same striping that their navy blue third jersey from the Reebok era used. Now, if this striping here looks to be an off-white, it's not. It's meant to be white, but I think either this or this would have been better in my opinion. But there is one more I want to show you, but you know what, guys? Sorry to be jumping around like a bouncy ball on the ground, but I want to really talk about New York's Winter Classic sweater and uniform, because I've got to be honest, I've honestly found this uniform really frustrating. Now, I think this may surprise some people, but I honestly felt that this design was terrible. And I don't expect you all to agree with me, and if you don't, I totally respect your opinion, but I want to get into why I don't care for this design, and I never have. First off, for myself, the biggest thing that I did not like was this patch. I did not care for the fact that this patch was on absolutely every player's jersey, including the goaltender. This, to me, was a big, big mistake. Now, if this was only a captaincy and alternate captaincy patch, I think it would have been great. But seeing it on every single jersey, I'm sorry, folks, I hated it. Now, the other thing I don't like, notice how the striping is here and it doesn't run along the very bottom like their home jersey does. That is something that I did not care for on this uniform. I think it would have been much better if this striping was on the very bottom of the jersey, just like their home jersey has had for decades. And finally, the other thing I did not like was that they took this portion of the shoulder yoke striping style from their away jersey and slammed it onto this jersey just cuz. Now, on the back, in my opinion, on the back it actually looks okay. But on the front, I've never liked it. And another thing about it too is I don't like how they tried to make it look almost like a phantom shoulder yoke in a way. And honestly, from the back, it looks a lot better in my opinion than it does on the front. And those are the reasons I don't like this jersey. And I really do wish that if they were going to do a 1926 inspired uniform, that they would have just done a 1926 throwback uniform. So overall, the pants and the socks looked terrific, even the helmet. And the 1926 word mark being on this jersey is great. I'm glad that the Rangers did do that. But I just don't like the overall, excuse me. I'm not a fan of the overall final product. I feel that the waist striping would have been far better on the bottom of the jersey like their home jersey. This should have only been a captaincy patch as far as I'm concerned, and I could totally do without this. So for me, I really do feel that the New York Rangers missed an opportunity to really do something great. And for me, is that the worst Winter Classic jersey I've seen? Honestly, it's not, but it's one of my least favorite for sure. I really do believe very strongly that the Rangers could have done better. And I think that if they were going to do a 1926 inspired jersey, they should have done something similar to this mock-up that I've made, using a lighter hue of blue and the 1926 word mark on the front. Or they could have done a bit more of a faux back style, in my opinion, using the same striping from their navy blue their navy blue third jersey that they wore up until the end of the Reebok Edge era. I still think that's the best third jersey the Rangers have ever had, and I would love to see that jersey come back. Now, I know that this past offseason, according to the rumor mill, the New York Rangers were actually considering a Lady Liberty third jersey for this 2019-2020 season. However, supposedly they did not care for the final prototypes, so at least for now, they are not getting a new third jersey. As for next season, it could be a different story. But I'm going to be honest, guys. Here's what I would have done. Here's what I would have loved to have seen the Rangers wear for the 2018 Winter Classic against the Buffalo Sabres instead. Here we go. This right here. So this is the mock-up that I've done. What I've done is I've gotten rid of the New York shield off the front of every jersey. Now, before I go any further, I'm sorry if I sound like a conspiracy theorist, but another thing I did not like about that patch on every jersey is it almost felt like a small little trial run for future jersey ads to me. It felt like it was almost like an advertisement on the front of every jersey, and that really annoyed me as well. If that Rangers silhouette was a captaincy patch only, I think it would have been awesome. But folks, this is what I would have done for sure for the Rangers 2018 Winter Classic sweater. Notice how it is their 1926 sweater, but in navy blue. It's got the rounded NHL collar. And to me, this would have been absolutely phenomenal. The letter and number fonts could have been totally the same. Everything about the rest of the uniform could have been the same. And this is why the Rangers Winter Classic sweater from 2018 really has pissed me off since they brought it out. Because to me, I actually believe that with the few tweaks that I've made here, this, as you can see here, could be a wonderful, wonderful sweater. In fact, I believe that this should be the Rangers' new third jersey over a new Lady Liberty design. I actually feel that it's not only a wonderful 1926 style sweater, but I actually feel that the navy blue looks really good. And this is another thing I've been forgetting to mention in this video so far. I feel that the color combo for the Winter Classic uniform was great, but the design of it has annoyed the hell out of me. The red and white on the navy blue looks absolutely drop dead gorgeous, in my opinion. In fact, it also kind of annoys me to think about it because it also reminds me of the fact that, in my biased opinion, of course, the Columbus Blue Jackets uniforms, in my personal opinion, with the exception of their third jersey, are rather mediocre. I mean, I've always liked their away design, but I don't like the new sock striping, and I also don't like how plain their home jersey has become. I feel like it's become even worse than it was during the Reebok years. But I look at this design right here. It is very clean and very elegant. And in my opinion, if the Rangers would have done this instead, I actually think that it would have been brought back as a third jersey this season. In fact, I would honestly say that this should be their third jersey at some point over a new Lady Liberty design. Now, if you love the Lady Liberty uniforms, I completely respect your opinion 100%. Not only that, truth is, I'm not against the idea of another Lady Liberty jersey. But what frustrates the hell out of me is that the Rangers could have brought this out as a third jersey, and I think it would have been a huge hit. This would have been a huge hit as their 2018 Winter Classic jersey. It would have been a huge hit. And it really annoys the hell out of me that instead of this, we got stuck with this. If the waist striping even was on the bottom of the jersey like their home jersey, that alone would have been way better. Getting rid of this and this would have been much better. But instead of getting this, we got this. And honestly, to me, the biggest piss off for me about the Rangers 2018 Winter Classic sweater is the fact that it could have been something, it could have been this. It could have been absolutely gorgeous. And instead, we got a faux back design that, as far as I'm concerned, I thought it sucked. And to you Rangers fans out there, I mean, I understand if you don't agree with me, but I'm sorry, folks, but this to me is what the Rangers should have done right here. That's what should have been done. And it really annoys the hell out of me that they went with what they went with instead of this. They could have done this and used the Rangers Shield logo on the front of every jersey as just a captaincy patch. And let me tell you, this would have been a high-selling jersey, and I think it would have been a very, very extremely well-received alternate jersey. In fact, they could make this a heritage jersey to wear 3 or 4 times a year with a new Lady Liberty alternate design if they wanted to. But you see, folks, I mean, I don't know about you viewers out there, but to me, this right here is an excellent faux back design. It's clean, it's simple, it's the classic Rangers jersey design, but with navy blue and with the 1926 word mark on the front instead of the one on the front of their classic home and away jerseys that they've had for decades. With that horrible, unfortunate exception of those blue and white jerseys they had in the mid to late 1970s, I still can't believe that the Rangers were ever thinking it was a good idea to switch to those. But honestly, folks, I mean, Buffalo's jersey was awesome. The Rangers one, in my opinion, was just terrible. And what really frustrated me the most about it is that, in my personal opinion, it was a few tweaks away from being absolutely perfect. This, to me, is a perfect uniform. And in fact, I would rather see that as a new third jersey in the future than a new Lady Liberty uniform design. But anyways, you guys, you know, I had to rant about this Rangers jersey here because it really annoys the hell out of me that this jersey is, in my opinion, a matter of a few major tweaks away from being a great, great sweater. In fact, a jersey that I think should be their new alternate jersey if they make the tweaks that I've suggested in this video. But anyways, you guys, I mean, Buffalo's, though, that jersey is awesome. The Rangers one, in my opinion, sadly not so much. But if it was this jersey design here that I've put together and tweaked against Buffalo's, I think a lot of people would probably rate it a little bit higher up on their lists of favorite Winter Classic jersey matchups. I would not be surprised if that was the truth or the case. But anyways, you guys, I would love to hear what other people think about it and my thoughts on this video and the 2018 Winter Classic uniforms. But, you know, I look at this jersey right here, this mock-up that I've made, taking the striping off the front of the jersey and the silhouette of the Rangers shield off the front and moving the waist striping to the bottom of the jersey. And my goodness, why did the Rangers not do this? To me, this was a huge, huge missed opportunity to not only create by far their best outdoor jersey to date, but also, in my opinion, a jersey that had some long-term staying power, at least as a third jersey, or even a heritage design paired with a Lady Liberty third jersey. But anyways, you guys, I'm going to call it a wrap on this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it if you've stuck around all the way to the end. And until my next video, you guys, take care. And of course, as always, everyone, bye for now.